So as I mentioned, I'm Abhay Kumar. I work for Qt42 as a JavaScript practice head. And here's my LinkedIn if you want to connect. Before we start, we are going to talk about the. So basically, let me set the pace of the stage. That is, what do clients buy from a service firm? If you could answer that as well in the chat. What do people, as a client, what would you expect from a service firm? Just drop down your more support, peace of mind. Yes, Stella, of course. Anything else? What do you buy? What do customers look out to buy? Professionalism is a good thing. Yes. Okay. Time, of course. Uh-huh. So basically, goods are consumed and services are experienced. So what clients mostly in a service firm look for is an experience for helping their solution, for helping them out with a solution. So all the things like professionalism, time, peace of mind, which is also a factor of the experience that we can offer as a service. So functions of which a service firm operates. These are the major firms. The tangent of this talk is regarding how should a services firm must thrive. So to reach there are multiple functions on which a services firm work on. So one of them is sales, that is getting new business. I've tried something fancy with the presentation. Sales, that is getting a new business. Then the brand value, which is also a function of marketing and public perception. Then comes the process, which is the strategy and execution of the rest of the practices. Then comes delivery, which talks more about repetitive business. Delivery also takes care of customer confidence, as we talked about peace of mind and professionalism, and also helps us in the brand value of word of mouth. Then comes the most critical part, which is talent management as part of people practice, followed by job satisfaction, office and dev culture, and retention. So all of these functions together are action items for service firms to operate and also to excel moving forward. So the majorly what we talked about is we can all of these can factor into three sections, that is growth, scalability, and sustainability. Growth in terms of new business that comes via sales. Scalability, which is a factor of brand value, talent management, how you manage people, execution of project plans, so on and so forth. And sustainability is another important thing, which is also a factor of how you deliver your projects, how is your people practice skills, are the people in your team motivated enough or not, how is the processes in terms of dev and office. So these are the three major umbrellas in which majorly an organization, that is a service organization, functions. So we'll quickly look at each of them in the given time frame. Another interesting question, just to make this thing more interactive. What's common between winning a war, cooking a food, and writing an exam? So if you could also put in your answers in the chat. This is for sure related to the topic that we're going to discuss. So just a metaphor. What's common between winning a war, cooking a good food, and writing an examination? If you could just pin down things in people, yes. Anyone else? I'll just repeat it. What's common between winning a war, cooking good food, and writing an examination? Experience, yes, of course. It can be multiple. It can be group of things, not just one. It can be group of things that are common in both of these three. You need a plan. Yep. Bullseye. Anyone else who would wanna put in their thoughts? Okay. So anything, things common between winning a war, cooking food, writing an examination, building a house, so on and so forth, is strategy, execution, and improvisation. If I may put it very broadly, you need to have a strategy to how to cook the food. What are the ingredients? Improvisation. Okay, the food has got hot, how do I manage that? Writing an examination for sure is a thing for strategy, execution, and improvisation. Similarly, anything that you want to succeed at needs strategy, execution, and improvisation. So we, as, let's say, people managing practices, should have at least mastered these three things. And also, what comes before strategy? I'll quickly go through the slide. So basically, what comes before the strategy, what I meant was how and what, on what parameters is your strategy built upon? Is it, what's your mission and vision and goal? So if your mission and vision is to attain X number of business in Y number of time, then your strategy will be a shift. If your strategy is to just sustain in the current time and to grow in the domestic market, your strategy will be different. If your goal is to, let's say, put a man on the moon, something like that, then your strategy and execution will be different. So before the strategy comes in, we need to align with the stakeholders. What is the mission, vision, and the goal of your organization? So here is another quick Q&A as an interaction thing. What's your organization's mission statement? So people in the audience, if you could tell us what is your organization's mission statement? Not the goal, not the vision, but the mission statement. Like for QT42, it's taking digital forward. I'll just link it back to how it is related and how it is critical for a service firm, just, but we would need something. Okay. So basically, the organization's mission statement has to be aligned with what the internal and the external perception of the organization, and which also abides by the strategy. For example, my mission is just to develop good products, then, or to bring digital forward, or to bring a digital solution to a problem. Then similarly, our perception as an employees or the perception as a client or in the market, it shifts. Another important thing, since we are talking about strategy, is we should eliminate the strategic overload. So not putting all the eggs in the same basket, selecting few initiatives with greater impact, rather than selecting many initiatives with unknown results or unknown ROIs. Aligning the hierarchy with goals and targets. By hierarchy, I mean aligning your subordinates and then the subordinates, having a clear picture of where the entire department goes or where the organization goes. Mostly what happens is the leaders are aligned, but the team is not, or vice versa. Have frequent meetings with the leaders in the team. That helps us to delegate work. Delegation is another big problem, which helps us to delegate work, which helps us to upscale folks, which helps us to identify who are our key assets, so on and so forth. Unless an initiative creates value for customers, employees, or suppliers, and unless it moves willingness to pay or willingness to sell, it's not worth it. It's a very bold statement to say per se, but you can validate any initiative which increases willingness to play or willingness to sell. So, for example, our if an initiative is around marketing, then that gives us willingness to sell. If our strategy is more aligned towards, let's say, delivery, or we are good at delivery and innovation strategy, then which brings the client the confidence of willingness to pay. Similarly, if anything is not falling into these major two umbrellas, then it's not worth it, or we need to take a second thought on the initiatives. These are the major strategies for a services firm, the bigger umbrellas. That is marketing strategy, which helps you to track and shape customer taste. Corporate strategy, to benefit the synergy, to benefit from your wins. Global strategy to have a global perspective and window of opportunity in the worldwide business. Innovation strategy is to pull ahead of the customers, a competition. That is, you always wanted to be ahead of the curve. So the only way to, either you can react to the change or you can be the change. So innovation strategy, the major companies who are into digital solutions tend to be ahead of the curve. That is, innovate themselves. Then comes the digital strategy, where you just need to exploit the internet. Digital strategy can be writing blogs, interacting with your users, having feedbacks on how your product is doing, having beta launches, having YouTube tutorials and videos regarding your product or your services. Then comes social strategies to interact with the customers online. The customers can be your current customers, your past customers, or your people who are interested in you already. These are the major strategies that a service firm should focus on. Marketing and services firm. Marketing and services firm is mostly goes hand in hand, but especially post pandemic, the way of selling things and the entire market has bombarded with tons of golden opportunities, and so has the marketing. So does should the marketing be also aligned? Marketing and the services firm let's say in terms of marketing, what one can do and should do is have a good digital strategy and make the internet your workplace. That is in terms of interacting with your users, having a good blogging site, writing more about your not just dev culture but office culture, because this remote thing has brought us the entire validation of a service is its website and its blogs and the content. That's the first thing that a client might see to validate the service. Talking more about people and client, how is your asset? As in, the major asset in any organization is majorly the people who work. So how good is your asset in terms of productivity, in terms of motivation, in terms of excellence, in terms of professionalism, in terms of timely deliveries, and how is the organization helping the asset to go to the next level? Talking about how an individual can go to the next level, this is a personal strategy that one can ask itself, or it can be part of a self review as well, that in what way are you personally more valuable on the marketplace than last year? If these are the questions that one asks himself or herself, then we'll have a clear picture if where do I stand in the marketplace. So in what way are you personally more valuable on the marketplace than last year? What's your future plan to make yourself more valuable than the last year? What new skills have you learned or acquired in the last year, which can be helpful for bringing a new star on your back, on your shoulder? What's your strategy for your career for, let's say, 3 years? Where do you see yourself after 3 years down the line, and what's your strategy for that? How can you make yourself more special in the marketplace, maybe in the next year, maybe in the next couple of years? And what precisely is that you want to be famous for? These are the things that one can answer and think about of realizing where one stands in the marketplace. This set of questions, or there can be multiple set of questions as well, but can help you align yourself. Where do you stand, not just in the organization but in the marketplace? Are you bringing more value to your skill set? Is your last couple of months wasted, or was it really good, not just in terms of the work you do, but has that work brought you, elevated you in the leisure board of the marketplace? What's your future plan? How do you plan to achieve that? What are the blockers? Is there any hindrance? Is there any new skill set you want to learn? If that is the case, then how do you plan to achieve that? These can be a set of personal strategies. And personal strategies, in return, in a longer way, helps the organization to grow. If the people will grow, the organization will grow. There's another critical problem that almost any firm and any organization, any department, any group, any team faces is motivation crisis. Motivation crisis is directly is directly proportional basically to the business that you do. If the motivation is less to the work, if the productiveness is less, the motivation can be less about it can there can be tons of reasons for your motivation to be down, but it, as you can see in the diagram, it hampers the productivity and quality, thus your standard in the marketplace and your economic success on in a larger picture also hits the business. So being a leader, being a team lead, being a practice head, being CXOs, one should always keep a sensors on if your team and the subordinates and everyone around you is motivated or not. And if not, pull out a, bring them a helping hand to get them motivated again, because this is in a spiral of, it's a vicious circle which hits the business. Coming quickly towards people management, as we talk more about, the main asset of any organization is people. People management is not just delivering the project, but also making sure that your folks have proper job satisfaction, they have retained, they want to work with you with the more coming number of years as well, and they are well appreciated, not in terms just in terms of words, but also in terms of monetary and other benefits. People management is a critical, as critical role as critical skill as technical, I would say, because end of the day everything boils to people and their growth. Thank you. It was Abhay Kumar, practice head at JavaScript, practice head JavaScript at QD42. And if you have any questions or if you want to discuss something with me, uh, feel free to unblock yourself. Sorry, it's very hot over here.